Ladies and gentlemen, patriots and bargain hunters, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about one of the most sacred slogans in American politics, something that makes people wave flags, wipe away a single tear of bald eagle pride, and shout, USA, USA, until their voice cracks. I'm talking about Made in America. Yes, that magical label that's supposed to fix the economy, bring back jobs, and probably cure male pattern baldness if you believe enough campaign speeches. But here's the thing. Made in America might sound patriotic, but in reality, it's often a terrible idea. And not just terrible for your wallet, but terrible for businesses, workers, and yes, even America itself. And if you think that's unpatriotic to say, don't worry. I'm going to blame Trump at least 50 times so you can stay entertained. Now, let's set the stage. For decades, politicians have sold us the dream of American factories roaring back to life. Every election cycle, someone stands in front of a rusty steel mill and promises to bring the jobs back. Cue the hard hat photo op, cue the American flag backdrop, and cue a speech that sounds like it was written by a motivational poster. And no one leaned harder into this than Donald J. Trump. The man loved Made in America so much he turned it into a catchphrase, right up there with Build the Wall and Make America Great Again. And like those other catchphrases, the fine print always seemed to get lost. Because while Trump was shouting Made in America, his ties, his shirts, and yes, those famous red MAGA hats were all made in China. Which is kind of like your gym trainer telling you to eat clean while stuffing their face with Taco Bell. But before we roast Trump too much, don't worry, there's plenty more roasting coming. Let's look at why this whole Made in America idea just doesn't work out the way people imagine. First, let's talk about cost. Americans love a good bargain. This is the country that gave the world Black Friday stampedes, where people are literally willing to fight strangers in a Walmart parking lot to save $10 on a flat-screen TV. Now imagine telling those same people, hey, what if you pay triple the price for the same TV just because it's assembled in Ohio instead of South Korea? You can almost hear the sound of credit cards being put away. Manufacturing in the U.S. is expensive because we actually have things like labor laws, minimum wages, and worker protections. Crazy, right? In China, you might be paying someone $2 an hour and calling a day. In the U.S., you got to pay 15, provide health care, give them weekends, and God forbid, maybe even let them use the bathroom. All of that adds up. So when politicians say we need to make more stuff here, what they really mean is get ready to empty your wallet. And Trump's idea of bringing jobs back was slapping tariffs on everything, which basically worked like a hidden tax. He'd tell his supporters, China is paying for it. But the reality was that American consumers ended up paying more at Walmart while Trump was tweeting in all caps about how amazing he was. Second, supply chains. Now, this is a fancy word that politicians like to throw around without understanding it. A supply chain is basically how a product gets made, from raw materials all the way to the shiny thing you hold in your hand. And modern supply chains are global, which means they stretch across dozens of countries. Take your iPhone. The chips are designed in California, but manufactured in Taiwan. The screen might come from South Korea. The battery could be from China. And it all gets assembled in Vietnam. If you wanted to make that entirely in the US. Not only would the price double or triple, but Apple would probably stop innovating altogether and just start selling you rotary phones again. But Trump, of course, made it sound simple. Just bring it all back. As if you can just load an entire globalized economy onto Air Force One and land it in Michigan. That's like telling Starbucks, just grow the coffee beans in Brooklyn, problem solved. Third, international retaliation. Here's the fun part. When you shout Made in America too loudly, other countries start shouting back. Trump's trade war with China was supposed to be this genius move where America won big. Spoiler alert, we didn't. Farmers got crushed when China slapped tariffs on soybeans. Automakers got squeezed when steel prices shot up, and the rest of us got stuck paying more for literally everything from washing machines to beer. Yes, beer. Thanks to Trump's tariffs on aluminum, the cost of canned beer went up. Imagine being the guy who accidentally makes beer more expensive for Americans. If that's not political suicide, I don't know what is. But Trump still bragged about it like he'd outsmarted China. It's like losing a chess game and then insisting you won because you moved your pawn really well. Fourth, let's talk about innovation. America loves to think of itself as the land of innovation. Silicon Valley, the moon landing, Netflix binge-watching, all American creations. But innovation doesn't happen in isolation. A lot of progress comes from international collaboration. If you cut off the US from global talent, you don't get more innovation, you get less. It's like Trump trying to run the White House without listening to experts. Oh wait, that actually happened. But seriously, many breakthroughs rely on global partnerships. Medical devices from Germany, robotics from Japan, software from India. Saying made in America only is basically like saying, we don't want your help, world, we got this. And then promptly falling behind while the rest of the world passes us by. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but what about American jobs? Don't we need to bring back manufacturing? And yes, jobs are important. But here's the thing. Most Americans don't actually want to work in factories anymore. You can pay someone $15 an hour to sew t-shirts, but guess what? That same person might prefer working in tech, healthcare, or literally anything that doesn't involve standing in a factory for 12 hours. The future of work in America isn't in low-wage, labor-intensive jobs. It's in high-skill industries like artificial intelligence, clean energy, aerospace, and advanced manufacturing. But Trump didn't want to talk about that. He wanted to bring back coal jobs, as if America was stuck in the 1950s. News flash. The rest of the world is building solar panels, wind turbines, and electric cars, while Trump is busy hugging lumps of coal on stage like it's a newborn baby. And let's not forget the hypocrisy. Trump branded himself as the champion of Made in America, but his businesses told a very different story. His Trump-branded suits? Made in Mexico. His Trump-branded ties? Made in China. His Trump-branded vodka? Made in the Netherlands. And the MAGA hats? Yep, made overseas. This is like preaching veganism while eating a steak on live TV. The guy turned Made in America into a slogan while personally proving that it's not even practical. So let's break it down. Made in America means higher costs for consumers, global supply chains being disrupted, trade wars that backfire, less innovation, and workers being stuck in jobs that no one really wants. It's a political slogan, not an economic strategy. And Trump sold it the way he sells everything else. Loudly, proudly, and without reading the fine print. Honestly, if Made in America were a business plan, it would have gone bankrupt faster than Trump's casinos. Now, I'm not saying Made in America is always bad. There are areas where it makes sense. Critical industries like defense, medicine, and infrastructure should absolutely have strong domestic manufacturing. You don't want to be dependent on foreign countries for your fighter jets or your vaccines. But making everything here, that's just not realistic. It's expensive, it's inefficient, and it makes America less competitive globally. Instead of chanting Made in America, maybe the smarter slogan would be Designed in America, built with the world. That way, we keep our edge in innovation while still benefiting from global trade. But of course, that doesn't fit on a red hat. So don't expect politicians to sell it. So next time you hear a politician, especially Trump, shout about Made in America, just remember, the shirts they're wearing probably weren't. And the more they push this slogan, the more you should check your wallet because you'll be the one paying for it. At the end of the day, Made in America sounds patriotic, but like Trump University, it's mostly a scam. What do you think? Is Made in America overrated, or is it the key to economic independence? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.